Hi everybody, this is Sufia, and today's Monday, and this is week 70, and we are talking about navigating sexy time. So I'm taking a quick lunch break, making this video. So this topic, I think it's a really important topic to talk about, and it's also kind of hard for me to talk about, not because I have any issue talking about sex or anything like that, but just because I feel like these videos and this way of connecting with other partners is a chance to talk about things that work really well that we have found that work really well in our relationship. And to be completely honest, this is an area that we're really working. We're having to do a lot of work in this area. So I think it's a good thing to talk about because it helps me process and help. I had a conversation with Shay about this yesterday, just kind of getting ready for the video, and it was good to kind of bring it up, and it brought up some other things for us to think about. So, yes, what it comes down to, I think, is communication, like Naya said yesterday. And I feel like we say that a lot in these videos, that a lot of things come down to communication, but I think in this area it's so true. And I think when it comes to navigating sexy time with any partner, with any person, that communication is super important in order to have safe, consensual sex, as well as fulfilling, nourishing, satisfying, soul-satisfying sex. So I think, I know that communication is really general. So what I mean by that is establishing for yourself, what do you want out of a lovemaking or sexual interaction, and coming to find out what does your partner want out of that interaction. And when I was talking to Shay about it yesterday, something that came up that we were talking about was making sure to use the right language. So people call their body parts call their body parts different things. People have different names for that. And that's in the cis world, the hetero world, the trans world, the queer world. Everybody has different language. And so just finding out what your partner wants to call things is super important. And then actually using that language is really important. But also keeping in mind that that can change over time. And so that's something that, a term that someone may use for a part of their body, early on in transition or pre-T or, pre-operation might be different later on. And just to be open to that and checking in with that, and then being able to work with that and be able to use that as you go along. And we talked yesterday about there being some big differences for Shay pre-hormones, excuse me, and after starting T. Just that sensation changed, and of course physical changes are happening, and so that requires kind of flexibility for us, like being able to say, hey, this feels great now, and then in a few days maybe checking in with that and seeing again if it still feels good or not, because that can change over time. And I think something I've seen a lot in the Facebook group for FTM Sweethearts is people posting about, hey, I'm going to go meet my partner for the first time in person, because we've been having an online relationship or a long distance relationship, and I don't know what they like, and that kind of thing. And I'd say that there's just so much newness. There's just physical newness in general, and just as it would be for anyone, just having an initial conversation about what's okay, what's safe, what's not okay, I think will really help long term. And then I think that's very different than being with someone in close physical proximity from the beginning of transition, maybe before they start taking T or have any surgery. And I think it requires a different level of communication, because you have to kind of continue to check in. And I think in relationships we can just get a little bit complacent at times. I know I do. And so just assuming I know what is happening, or assuming that everything's okay. And I think with this, it's really important to not do that, to just continue to check in over time. So I think the biggest thing for me as a partner that I want to talk about is emotional changes that have happened on my end that go along with physical changes and that go along with this whole process. And this is where it gets kind of hard for me because it's something that we definitely work on. This is not an area we have figured out completely. We do a lot of things really well in our relationship, and I think there's places where every relationship has to do a lot of work, and this is one of those for us. So because of who I am personally, because of how I personally interact with physical intimacy and what I need to be in place in a relationship in order to be physically intimate, there's been some emotional work for me to do around, I guess, I don't know, maybe it comes down to expressing my needs and expressing like, hey, your voice sounds different. I may be misunderstanding what you're saying, but you're feeling a little bit gruff or aggressive right now, and we have to work with that. The emotional effects of me interpreting Shay's voice in a different way, or there actually being some tension there, and then how that affects our physical intimacy later. And so that's an area I don't have completely worked out for myself, and I don't really know what I want to say about that to you guys, except that, to be very real, that is something that we're working with, and I think that is very much connected to navigating sexy time, because for me it's part of it. So I guess all I really have to say about that is that I'd love for there to be some conversation from other partners about how you guys handle that, if you deal with that at all, and just to be real with partners who with other folks in this group whose partners are transitioning or maybe are thinking about transitioning, that is a real thing. It's not insurmountable by any means, but I know that I've seen different people posting about those kind of fears. So anyway, there's that. I'd love for there to be conversation around that. So yeah, I guess to sum it all up, it comes down to communication and being open to what your partner wants over time, making sure that your needs are expressed as well over time, and being flexible with that. And the other thing that Shay was saying yesterday is that this is an experiential learning process. And I totally agree with that when it comes down to it, I think one of the worst things that we could do is be so afraid to offend or hurt or, not please a partner that we don't have sex, or that we don't try to be intimate. And I say that when it comes down to it, you just have to try it out. And then if if something doesn't work, then you change it up and do something else next time. But definitely try it. Definitely do it. And learn along the way. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week or a great 2 weeks, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Okay, bye.